Action!
I believe
Are we live?
Yep. I believe we are.
I have it
now,
pulled up.
And I'm gonna launch on TikTok as a little bonus thing that we're doing.
Yep. We are live.
Okay, well, I would like to start the episode with saying I was right. And what I was right about is that Baelor does have two different colored eyes, which I called out in the trailer, and everyone told me I was wrong, and I was right.
Well, we all thought you were wrong.
The guy who plays Valar, Oscar something or other, he has that in real life, where one of his eyes is a different color than the other. And so they made an intentional choice to have Birdie wear a contact so that he also has two different colored eyes, so it'd be like a hereditary thing.
That's actually kind of cool.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
and so that's all.
That is not what I thought you said, or what I thought you were going to say you were right about, because we need to talk about, and we will get there, but we got to talk about Egg's little song, his little ditty.
Little ditty.
Because
Oh my God,
yes.
yes.
Did y'all write that?
Fuck right off, Egg.
I'm sorry, Egg's little song literally has a reference to Makar's.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, his
No,
big
it
what?
was a cute song. It was a very cute song. Wait.
Y'all-
I thought it was Baelor's. I thought he said
Yes, it's
Baelor's.
Baelor's.
It's
Oh,
Baelor.
Giant
it
baby.
was
I know.
Baelor's, because he
So
said
I
that.
totally got excited though. I was like, wait, what did he say? He's talking about his papa's big dick? No, it's just his uncle's big dick.
Which is normal Targaryen behavior.
Yeah.
They
Okay,
have
that's fine.
poor Dexter talking about some crazy, crazy stuff in this episode. I'm like, this poor kid.
Oh my God. Okay. Like when he's like, is it normal the black hairs are growing out of my stones? It's like, Egg, he doesn't have the context that you have white hair. So like,
I think it's odd. And then he goes, I think
was
it's
so
odd
funny.
that you're telling me. Like,
Actual canon event.
He doesn't
and I
have-
really
yeah.
didn't like that it got me think, because then I was like, is it? Why is it black? Like I was like, I don't want to be thinking about this. Like oh my
it's
God.
that Dornish blood, like getting the crosshairs.
Oh man, I don't know if I can make this joke, but I'm just thinking back to Ned reading the book and going, "This seed is strong."
I saw this funny fucking
Stop!
meme today. I sent it to the group chat because it's like someone doodled a cartoon and it's Cersei and all of her children that look just like her, blonde hair, green eyes, and it's Ned with all his kids looking like Catelyn with their red hair, blue eyes, and he's like, "Why don't your kids look like their dad?" Like,
I mean, that's what I try to
why.
tell people all the time. Like, they want to talk about, oh, Stannis is the rightful heir. And I'm like, what? We, the reader, know this. We know this to be true. But the realm does not. And Ned had no proof.
None.
Jon Arryn had no proof. There's none whatsoever. Unless they have a DNA test that they can whip out. Unless the Maesters come up with that, there's no evidence. None. Like,
Just
shut
took a
up,
DNA
Ned.
Just took a DNA test, turns out. Egg's
Turns
100% that prince.
That singularly Lannister prince. Okay, so do we watch it? Are we gonna watch it?
That's the thing. I can't really watch it. I have it up on the stream, and there's I have it as kind of my notes. But the first
Okay,
thing
so you'll prompt us.
yeah, the first thing obviously
yeah.
that we were all, I know I was a little worried about whatever this freaking shocker of an opening scene they could possibly have, and I was so grateful that it was just Egg sounding like a horse.
And being a little creep.
Yeah.
Can we talk about
The horse
Thunder's
does.
acting though? Can we talk about Thunder's acting? Because Thunder
I thought it was
is
a little
Pepper.
overdone.
Oh, you would. You would.
I thought Thunder was perfect.
Thunder literally nodding.
Overdone. Eric, I
Well,
swear to God.
Was it? I just want to say before that, because my praises and my criticisms are both very high for this episode in a few different ways. I really like how they start off with Egg staring at Dunk so comfortably compared to his trauma with Arion. You would think sleeping to an older man would be like absolutely
Yeah.
no, and the fact that he's so comfortable just like sitting there with like, oh, you're kind of a nice dude. It just, I was like, yes.
It was
My
yes.
concern, my genuine concern in that opening scene was I thought they were actually going to do a flashback. Like, I thought for a split second they were going to do a flashback for Egg, and I was very troubled because I was like, this is the villain turn episode for Arion, so like they could do that.
Yeah.
Not fully, not like, but they could do the
Mhm.
menacing like Arion encounter, and I'm glad they did not, because little too.
Jeez.
If they were to have like Egg talk to Dunk about some of those stories, that's fine. But yeah, let's
Sure.
not see any sort of graphic detail of that. Like we got enough awful crap from Arion in this episode.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Eric, do we need to do like a little like intro? I know you usually do that.
Can both Chelsea and Phil, can y'all turn y'all's cameras on and off and on for me?
Oh, you guys are frozen.
How do I do that?
Okay, there we go.
Just like a little, there's a camera button. You can just hit and re-hit.
Oh, okay. Camera.
So we got
No,
Phil
that's-
unstuck.
That's
That
flip.
one. Got it.
And Ashley, you're not stuck.
There
right?
you go.
I don't think so.
Wave your arms up and down. There you are.
No, she's not stuck. I'm
Is
looking.
mine better?
No,
This is now.
Okay. So back to my correct opinion about the horses acting being a little over the top. I really didn't. I don't know, like, because I'll be honest. I thought about this. I was reminded of another one of my favorite bits of horse acting is in the movie True Lies. If anybody's familiar, that was way more about looks and everything. I thought the head bobbing was a little too much. They did it one too many times. So, note to
Can I offer some coke?
whoever the actor is. I think that horse actor is named Shrek.
Yeah, Chestnut is Shrek. No. This is
Can I-
No, Thunder.
This is Thunder. Can I offer some coke for
Okay.
this scene?
What is it?
So it starts off with Thunder going, like, nodding a bunch of times, which I will say is definitely a bit ridiculous. But then the scene, like, cuts, and then he's just taking a poop. So I was like, are they trying to say this is what Egg ideally wants him to do, and then the reality of what's actually happening? I don't know if that's what they were going for, but I was
Like Egg is
can I argue
actually just in this field
defense?
talking to this horse who's shitting versus like this horse who's carrying on a
Yes.
conversation with him.
Yeah.
It's just a child's imagination.
Honestly, like given his age, I can see that.
Actually, that kind of ties into like one thing that I really want to talk about tonight is the puppet show, and that puppet show was political. It was political.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
for
it
sure.
was.
He
And
knew
she
it.
knew.
As soon as she saw him,
knew.
she was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
There's-
And so
I get so much-
Egg,
well-
Egg had no, like, I don't think Egg really processed it that way. Like, he thought he was just seeing a fun show. But yeah, she knew when Arion was in there.
yeah, I mean, yeah, and
Because
so again,
Egg didn't really have an adverse reaction. Like, he was just like, oh, yeah, it's a fun show.
yeah, but I mean, Arion is who clocked it as
Yeah.
political.
I do,
Mhm.
yeah.
The minute he walked in, he knew.
I do have a lot on Arion, like,
so-
in this whole sequence, but
So do I. Is it criticism or is it praise or is it both?
It's a little column A, little column B. It's different. It's
Yeah.
different. It's different.
Mhm,
So-
mhm.
I don't know if
Agreed.
this is intentional or not, and it's something that we talked about a little bit last week. Is it playing with the perspective that Dunk really is a lunk? And so when he sees this puppet show, he thinks it's just a puppet show. Like, what's the big deal? So to him, it's like marionettes, right? And we're getting it from his perspective. But then the show is a little more like watching it all happen versus being from someone's perspective. And so, was Dunk just an idiot and didn't understand the political nature of what was happening? And I think that's a fun, I liked
Sure.
that.
Yeah, that's a fun take.
I don't think so, but I just think it was different in the novella. But sure, fun idea.
Okay, Eric.
I don't want to come to Arion Brightflame's defense, but I don't know, just like the objective thinker in me is just like, this is a time where people aren't happy with Targaryens and they're killing a dragon. Like, in my mind, I'm just like, I can kind of see why Aaron
Yeah,
would
that's
get
what I'm
pissed
saying.
about that, which makes sense as to like maybe they didn't mean for it to be political, but maybe it's a little like jabbing at them.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's-
definitely felt like it was intentionally
It
political.
could
Yeah.
very well be intentional, and I think
I'm into the
later
novella.
episodes might have something to say about this. Maybe we'll see.
Mhm.
But
We have to also consider that Tanzel and her family are Dornish.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
that's like, yeah.
but the show, I think, is going the way of like making it at least questionable if it's a political statement, whereas in the novella it's very clearly an overreaction, because it's not even about this is this one's about Serwyn. The other one was about Florian,
Yeah.
I believe. So
Yeah.
even more kind of absurd, because it's an old tale of something that didn't even really happen. I don't remember.
Right.
No, the
Jonquil
story.
and
I'm not
Florian
saying that
aren't
the
real,
story
right?
is political. I'm saying their execution of the story is political. It's a huge black dragon reminiscent of Balerion the Black Dread. Like, I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
saying.
the show did
I-
this. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But the novella did not.
No, yeah.
No, no one said it did.
I think I think this felt more on the nose. Although I do think they had an out. I think Tanzel and company had an out that they could have taken. It could have been like, yeah, a giant black dragon. Like we slew the black dragon just like y'all.
I thought that
Honestly,
too.
yeah, like you could have assumed and been like, no, it's the
Yeah, this
Blackfire
is-
dragon. It's not
this is the
Valerian. Like,
Pretender,
they
right?
could have
Like-
taken that out. They could have taken that.
Do you yield, Blackfire bastards?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the out I
Um,
would have taken.
This
I'm just saying, if I was Arian, I walked in, I saw this huge fucking black dragon being stabbed through the chest. I wouldn't break her fingers, but I would be like, can we not do that? You know?
I
I'd have definitely torn up the puppets. I'd have torn that shit up and been like pissed about it.
I would have said the dragon ought never die, because I believe that. And it's not a metaphor, baby. I'm talking about the literal actual dragons. Like, don't kill a dragon in front of me.
I don't know. I'm gonna say it right now. This scene was not exactly the way I envisioned it, so therefore this whole show is trash, and
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
we should cancel it immediately. And
Over.
everybody who watches it hates women and is
Ooh,
racist.
Eric.
But
He comes in
for
so
real,
dead
on,
I just kind of want to say that about this scene specifically, just because I had a very, very, very specific image of how, like, I had the timing down of everything. Like, I had the edits down in my head, and this was not that at all.
What would it have looked like for you, Eric?
It's hard to, I'd have to act it out to really explain it. But
Well, turn
well,
on
I need to see that. I need to see you do that actually.
Are we,
You know what?
are we
That's an
going-
interesting
are-
video idea. I could do that.
Are we going? Are we going there? Are we
here's
just-
here's one thing that I could tell you about the shot between Arian and Egg on the reveal. I cut it off, brother. I didn't want to look like you. For me, that should have been like in Kill Bill, where it's like really close up, and it's like, I don't know. It needed to look more spaghetti western, more anime, where it was just, that's what I wanted. And at least in that, I can
So are
tell
we
you
going
that,
out of order? just
that
wanna
I
make
would
sure.
make that
We
difference.
totally are.
Because there's a thing that they're doing with Area that I want to talk about, but like if we're gonna go back,
So do I.
This is
I can
my
save
fault.
it. I can
I wanna
save
save
it.
it.
I can save it because
Well, no, let's talk about
Yeah.
this scene now. So
okay.
Well,
Okay.
We're
yeah,
we're gonna Tarantino like Kill Bill. We're gonna Tarantino it and start at the end and then
Yeah, we're
work
gonna
our way
start
back.
here.
exactly. Yeah.
My biggest issue with this scene is the music.
Oh.
I don't like. Maybe this is a disagreement. I just thought the way they played it up with the music was a little strange.
Are you talking about
but that might
the
just be a
ending?
completely subjective take. Yes, like the very ending music,
Yeah.
how it was like.
The like
Because
rip
we're
off,
talking about that scene, right?
Mhm.
Not
Yeah.
going crazy.
the rip off Dies Irae.
Yeah. Yes, I wish they just let the scene speak for itself a little more and let it just like authentically built.
Yeah.
There's tongue tied. That kind of bothered me. This is not a criticism, but I noticed Dunk hits him with both arms. So is he about to lose both arms now? During is that going to be part of the deal now?
I didn't even think about that.
Because he hit him with a 1-2, and I was just like, oh, so he's losing both arms now. I like the scene though.
What if it would be funny? It would be funny if maybe Arian just didn't remember the second one. Maybe it's the one smart moment that Dunk has.
He's like, yeah, one time I hit you with this hand.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
Chelsea, are you meaning to be out? Okay, there, you're back.
I think, and Constantine, you saying the music, I think there's something about the cuts at the end of this where I was like, are they actually doing a little bit of like a comedy beat with this? Because
yes,
because when they went to everybody, like they went to everybody's reaction, and then they did it one more time, like around. I was like, if they do it again, this is genuinely just like it's
stupid.
Just a joke. Like it's just a joke at that point.
That's fair.
It felt the smash cuts on everybody. I like the way that I kind of envisioned it, and maybe I'm too like Game of Thrones brain or whatever with this, where the way that reveals happen in this series is like the person does the like dramatic, whatever the dramatic turn is, you get the like swell of the music, it kind of slow pushes in on that character, and then boom, like some kind of like hard cut, right? Of like you're left with that person who did the reveal sort of as the like lasting image of that, like pushing on egg of like, I didn't want to look like you, right? Like to Arya, and that should have been just like end of the episode.
Yep.
I definitely think they're overdoing it with the comedic relief. It's becoming an entire comedy, and with like very little bits of drama in it. There's too much comedy and not enough drama. And Dunk and Egg is supposed to be more lighthearted, but it's not supposed to be a joke.
I think, and I said this about episode 2. I've definitely felt it about this episode, is that I think if this episode were 45 minutes, it would have been perfect. Because it would have given them the time for this other stuff to breathe a little more. Like, tell us who Humphrey Harding is. Tell us, like give all of these scenes just like a little bit more time to marinate and like kind of develop the drama around it, why any of this like matters. I think that it feels just a little quick at times, where it's like
it feels very rushed.
Yeah.
Now that we're 3 episodes in, I can say pretty confidently that
the show, but
I can say pretty confidently, at least in my opinion now, that this should have been a movie, because this part of the movie would have been about 30 to 40 minutes in the movie, which is when like everything flips on its head, which is sort of, I think, the issue.
Yeah.
These 3 episodes have been about tournament hijinks. You know, they're building up basically like a sports movie.
Yeah.
And that's important, because that's what the pre-world is of this story, and then it gets flipped on its head here when Dunk when he actually acts like a knight. You know. Yeah,
it is a little weird that they didn't make it into a movie. I mean, I understand that it would have been a long movie, but when you think about the fact that Lord of the Rings, I mean, I will sit in a theater for 3 hours and 45 minutes to watch the extended edition, and did just recently for the 25th anniversary. The whole thing, man. But like, I think they underestimate the fans. Like, we'll sit there.
Even then, we've seen how much they've padded into the beginning. You know, we know how much plot is in the original novella. This would have been 2.5 hours, like, because the whole series is about 3 hours long already.
Right.
So it's like, this would have been 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes, which is about an epic fantasy tale. You could probably even, when you make it a movie, you probably would cut some of this. You would probably cut some stuff, actually. I don't want them to, but you know, it would be for different pacing reasons. But I think this version of it is not the best, because you're asking the audience to hang in there 3 episodes until the story becomes what it actually is about.
What it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to take a step back yesterday and just go, you know what? Let me just enjoy it and love it as its own thing. I can't keep comparing it to the novella because
Yeah.
I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
But speaking of padding the runtime, are we just jumping around
No,
now, or
we're
are we
gonna
gonna go in order? Because I'll
we're
hold
gonna
this.
finish talking about this scene and then I think go back to the beginning, right?
Well,
Okay.
honestly, we're off the rails already, and I kind of
Okay.
like it. So, what were you gonna say, Constantine?
Let's just go where the
So
wind
it's
takes
it's
us.
yeah, it's two things. What one of them is talking about padding the runtime. Is it Plumber? That's the guy who like spits a lot. He has this bit of development with Dunk where he offers him to basically win, so he'll get what he wants. He'll get his money, he'll get his armor, but he'll have to win by just cheating, basically.
Yeah.
And he gives Dunk this really interesting dilemma where it's like, okay, I now love Egg and I want to keep Egg on, but if I do this, I'll get to keep my friend now and he'll be happy, but I'll forsake my honor. Or do I risk losing everything and Egg, everything I've built, but keep my honor? And I really like that development. And I was so excited for a payoff to that. There's no payoff because there's no room for the payoff now. They didn't have.
Yeah.
They just do that scene. and
Oh,
then
we
expecting
don't see
later
what
on-
comes of it. I see what you mean.
Yes,
That's-
they like
That scene is very much a misdirect. I think
yes.
it's
yes.
not going to
But
come
even
back
then-
because it's.
I hadn't even
it's-
thought about
like,
that, Constantine.
Now the sports movie is the corruption sports movie of the mob is asking him to like
Fix the game for the books.
yeah.
And-
It's like a
And since
bookie.
we are jumping around, one scene that at first I was like, oh, I really like this, and now I'm like, ooh, was after Arion like stabs the horse, everyone riots.
Mhm.
And when they did that, I'm like, okay, I kind of like where this is going, showing that people aren't happy with the Targaryens. But at the same time, why is no like a big part of the novella is no one is willing to help because they're scared of the Targaryens. It is just Dunk. He stands alone.
Yeah.
So in doing that,
Oh.
that kind of undercuts that a little bit for me, but I was willing to just be like, whatever. But then at the end, when Tenzel's getting her fingers broken, no one's helping her out. Where's the passion? Where's the like?
Mhm.
What is Arion doing?
Yeah, didn't
and-
we hate Arion like
Yeah,
an hour ago?
Yeah, y'all
Remember
throw like a
about the-
tomato at him or something, like a potato, something at him.
I do.
yeah.
So this is, and it's funny because this is the Arion thing for me that they're doing that I'm like, I need to see more to understand kind of where they're going, because to me, what it felt like is okay. Arion has his moment in the tournament, and he kills the horse, Humphrey Harding's horse, which I was bummed that they did not say the name Humphrey Harding. I get that there's like probably a name fatigue thing, and I think it was Belock last night on our live who literally said, "Say his name," like.
Say it.
So, because also I hate that they stole Humphrey Harding's shine, because in the novellas Humphrey Harding is a fucking badass. Like, he is
Yes.
just wrecking fools, and that's what makes Arion's whole deal so kind of like underhanded and treacherous and cowardly, because Humphrey Harding has been just annihilating dudes.
14
Yeah,
and
he's
0.
been killing it.
Yeah, you don't
Like-
get that sense at all from the show.
Yeah, and
No.
he's like, and the other champions at the time when Humphrey Harding is up there are, Leo Tyrell, Lionel Baratheon. Like, he's up there with the Lords Paramount. Like, he's
Mhm.
no slouch. This is like one of the best jousters around, and that's what
Which is
makes-
the reason why Arion kind of like cheats.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Like,
because
he knows he's gonna get wrecked by this dude, and so he
So he
resorts to doing something that is like unforgivable, whatever. Like, people, and it obviously is to show that Arion is, one, at his heart, like, pretty cowardly, and two, cruel, right? Like, because he
Yes.
kills an animal
Yeah.
in advancement of a sporting achievement, right? Like,
yes,
not because of like a life or death situation, like because he wanted to win the game. So it like characterizes him really well. What I was initially excited about is in the aftermath of that, they show Arion, and he's very impassive, right? Like, his whole deal, he lifts his visor, not a not like, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Like whatever, they didn't try to soften him.
I
at
don't
all.
like that he didn't get off the horse. Like, I thought it was like in the novella, he gets off his horse, takes out his sword, and he's ready to go
like,
over
I'm gonna
there
I'm
and
gonna
like
go fight.
finish this dude off after he kills his horse. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you too.
Like time to fight. Yeah.
Now that, like, I've watched the episode now a couple of times today after watching it last night, and I thought that Arion was perfect in his acting. Like, the actor is doing a phenomenal job, but the show is not giving him enough to work with. Like, you need this guy to be absolutely irredeemable, horrible. I'm still noticing the fact that he's handsome. I should not be noticing that at all.
So
Zero.
It's a good thing he doesn't have the long hair. But so where I
Like,
was going,
there should be zero regards to how handsome this man is. I should be like, you effing monster. Like, you're evil. Like, I should not be thinking about that.
So where I was going with this is that the riot, to me, sort of like, I think they're doing a thing with Arion where what he's doing feels righteous. Like, even if it's just to him, and even if it's not truly like a righteous thing, he feels righteous in what he's doing, where in the novellas, what he's doing is driven by his vanity and his cruelty.
Mm.
Right? Like, and the fact that, like, I do violence because I like it. And I like hurting people who are, like, beneath me in the structure, all that sort of stuff. This made it feel where it's like, all these motherfuckers hate me, so I may as well, like, lean in to being the villain, right? Where it's like, to me, it's just like, it's this, like, I don't know, to me, it just feels like they're softening him to an extent.
I read it a little different.
Okay. I just want to say, Chelsea and Phil, you guys are frozen. Reset your cameras and continue.
Oops.
I've been holding it for like a 2
I
minutes.
read it a little different as well, Chelsea, because, like,
ultimately this is like kind of audio, kind of dependent. So thank you for waiting for a pause.
I guess it's fair.
I think in the novella, he does feel righteous in what he does in the puppet show. Like, he feels like that is an insult. That's definitely a slight to House Targaryen. And that's the read that I always felt from it, was that this was an insult. Whether the puppets were large or not, at the end of the day, she's killing the dragon. And, like, we all know how the Dornish have previously felt about dragons. So he saw that as an insult. And that, like, was very clear. So that much I do understand. I think, like, making the puppets larger was an interesting choice. But at the end of the day, I think that reaction was definitely the same. He felt insulted. He felt that his house was insulted. So he has to, like, fuck their shit up. I don't think he had to break her fingers, but, like, he felt like he had to mess up all their puppets. But, like, the rest of the stuff is definitely, they're making him look better than he does in the novella. Like, a little too much.
Okay, I want to go back to what Phil said about Arion and talking about like that he's leaning into, like, the persona that people have assigned him. The only reason that I read that differently in the show is because you see him look for Maekar, and he sees that Maekar is not there, and then I guess what I'm saying is, like, it's less that he's leaning into a persona that other people have created and more that he's dropping the persona that he's created for his father.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Because Maekar, until this happens with Tansel, like, he knows that Arion is a shit, but I think he kind of thinks of him as, like, him, because they have similar temperaments.
It's said that Arion keeps himself in line when Maekar's around. I think Egg says that. Yeah.
And I mean, in a lot of ways, and something that I like that the show did, even though, as much as I love Maekar, his kids are, the way they are because of him, and no one's calling. He might be daddy, but he's not a good father. He's not going to be father of the year anytime soon.
Like, that's where we get towards the end of the novella, where Dunk's like, well, look at how all your other kids turned out, buddy.
So what I wanted to say, this kind of subtle thing that they did that I really liked is, Egg is talking to the horse, and he says, my dad told me that horses are dumber than dogs. right?
Mhm.
And for Maekar to say this, like, it's not a cruel thing because we know that Maekar's not a cruel person. Just because he thinks a horse is dumb doesn't mean he's going to beat the shit out of a horse or kill a horse, right?
Sure.
He just doesn't. What it is Maekar doesn't have patience, and horses require patience. So him not liking horses checks for me, right? He would like dogs. Dogs are loyal as fuck, and you don't have to, they're not horses. And so to see how that feeds into Arian having this callousness for animals, because then we also know that he throws a cat down the well, right?
Yeah.
And but then you see how his other son, Egg, is like, but I don't agree with him. I think he's wrong, right? So it's like the duality of man, like he's got these two kids that are both just like him, but went so opposite with it.
Yeah.
Because
I do like that.
Every time Egg is like given a sassy, that's Maekar. That is he is his father's son every time he's laying down some sass. Like, come on.
I'm gonna say a take, and I've had my hands up for a while now. I think Arion is better in the show than he is in the novella. I think he's a better character. I always read Arion in the novella as kind of like Joffrey, just super bratty, like either like a Viserys and Joffrey mix, where he's super entitled, super bratty, and just super delusional. And it works for the novella in comparison to Dunk especially, but I feel like the line of him being a little more complicated makes him better overall. And where I was like, oh, I think I like this character better, is in the novella, after Dunk hits him, he's like he comes off super like
Oh, grandma.
yeah, like
This is a
he
goblin.
does. But
It's
he's
goblin mode.
he's such a cartoon villain, which makes him so great in comparison to Dunk. But in the TV show, he looks at Dunk and there's like he's almost being objective. He's like, "What did you just do? Why would you do that? Like, why are you gonna die now
That like
for a girl
cold
you don't?"
objectivity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that to me is way more indicative of the Targaryens we know now, and like we know their lineage. So when this novella was made, the only real Targaryens George knew of, aside from like Dany, was like Aerys. So he was really leading into the like, oh, some Targaryens are mad. And I feel like this Aerion is way more complicated while still being equally like, you are the worst. Because what he does to Denzel, even though the thing with Maekar and the thing with the horse, there's layers to it, but he's still such an awful human being that it's just like, who cares about your layers? Just get his ass. Who cares? But it just makes him better overall for me.
I think, and what you said there, now we're actually like going backwards through the episode, but I think like the thing that stuck out to me in this episode about the interaction that leads into Dunk intervening and kicking Arion's ass, like in the tent, seeing Tenzel, is his conversation with Raymond Fossaway.
Yeah.
And they actually did kind of an interesting like flip on the head of obviously like how Targaryens have been treated on TV like up to this point. No one's ever said some wild shit about the Targaryens like Raymond Fossaway said. Like they
Blood
say all
magic.
kinds of like
Yeah.
sideways stuff about Targaryens, but no one has ever said some crazy shit like they are aliens and like
The blood
are-
magic thing.
yeah, blood magic, incestuous blood magic,
Yeah.
like, you know, and like they shouldn't reproduce. Like this is like really that it's like way wilder. And what I thought was interesting is I was like, they're kind of doing the opposite of what they normally do of like, oh, look at these like really magic Targaryens and how like sort of other, like they're barely human and, you know, closer to gods than men and all this sort of stuff. This show is kind of saying like sentiment right now is like these are like evil motherfuckers that need to go.
Yeah, because this is
And then it's like and there's a lot more going on with them than Raymond Fossaway would lead you to believe, right? Like that's the sort of like no, these are like also humans, right? Where it's like it's almost flipped the other way, where Targaryen supremacy is now like they're the other, and people are like, you know, pointing to them and being like, this is, you know, like obviously they, you know, are the royal family and all that stuff, but I just think there's something going on there where they're showing the flip side of now you're othering like the
Well, we also have to
Targaryen.
think that this isn't too long after the dance. I mean, the last dragon died when Sir Arlen was alive, so this is indicative of the aftermath of what happened.
Well, it's after the dance and after the first rebellion. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
And so
nothing
we've
but
had
destruction
so
from the
much
perspective of
bloodlust
the
and loss and chaos thanks to these weird inbred demonic aliens.
Mm-hmm. Just to conclude my point about Arion, the way I feel about him is compared to the novella, I want him beat equally, but I think there's way more to talk about regarding the character. So I feel he's just stronger
Sure.
overall. Because I said this in a video the other day. I was like, why do people love this guy? We don't know anything about him other than the fact that he's just the absolute worst. But now with the show, there's like you can actually do a character study. You could be like, he's terrible. Look at all these terrible things he's done. But it's interesting to like highlight the angle of his father doesn't love him properly. The realm is shunning him. He's
mother
trying
died.
to overcompensate. His mother died. Exactly. Like there's so much more interesting conversations to have with this version of Arion because I feel he's just immediately deeper. Well, I still just want his ass to get kicked.
I wonder if they'll create, because one of the things that is weird about Arion in the books, like just straight up, is why is he Arion Brightflame? Like, why is his name Brightflame? Is that ever?
Is it? I always assumed, and this could absolutely be wrong, but I always thought that the name, the banner, and his egg were all tied together because his egg. I think it all comes from the egg.
But
Because the egg is
and like
described as
personal sigils and all that sort of stuff are like very common, and where like a person would have like a symbol or whatever. Him taking a whole ass different name is really kind of crazy. Like that's crazy.
I mean, he thinks he's super special.
But
The
that's
fact
what I
that you
mean.
know
Is
what his
like,
egg looks
do you
like is
think?
beyond me.
I guess what I was thinking is, do you think the show will try to create a canon around why he is different?
Oh, I hope they don't.
Well, I mean, because the answer really is that George was going to have the Bright Flames be the Blackfires.
Right, where it's like he gets banished to Lys and then he comes back, or him or his kids or whoever.
Well, yeah, that was originally supposed to be the plan because that's why Maegor, his son, literally kind of falls off the face of the earth. We never find out what happens to this little toddler, and that's because he was supposed to originally bring in the Blackfires.
In theory,
Or the dragon seeds or the bright flames, whatever it was going to be.
in theory, though, like, because I was thinking, like, if Arion was going to be sort of the like main antagonist or his family or whatever with this like cadet branch of the Targaryens, wouldn't it would have made a lot more sense if he was called Arion Targaryen during the story and then he's called Arion Brightflame after he's banished.
True.
Okay, is it like is it bright flame as in
It sounds
like
weird.
is he using that as his
That
like
too.
name, or is that like a nickname for him, like the Anvil? I mean, we know why Maekar is called the Anvil, so
Why is that?
And maybe it is just what
Why
Kelsey
is that?
said,
you
where
know,
it's
Eric.
Arion Targaryen. He just didn't like the sound
sounds
of it.
weird.
I always
because I'm
thought it was just for the aura.
Just
I just
aura.
thought it wanted to be
Yeah,
cool.
I
I
don't
thought
like.
it was
Yeah,
boring.
he didn't like that his names rhymed.
Yeah,
I
so
was
he was
assuming-
like, man, this would sound so much cooler.
I just felt like he wanted to
Mhm.
accessorize around his egg. So his name needed to match his egg, his sigil needed to match his
How
egg.
do you know what the egg looks like? How do you know what
Because
the
it's
egg
described
looks
in
like?
the
Because Egg
book.
talks about it. Egg talks about it.
Yeah.
Egg talks about it
I
in
remember
the Mystery
beyond
Night.
me.
Can
In
you
the
believe
Mystery
people
Night,
argue
because
with me about dragon-related things?
Right.
Oh, you're so
Egg,
funny.
like how could you not forget egg? Anyways, whatever. Yeah.
why are you arguing
about
I would
dragon
really
stuff?
like to pause and say I am impressed, Chelsea, that you remembered a small detail from the Mystery Night. I am proud of you. I am proud.
I will also say that I am shocked that we have made it this far into the episode and we haven't talked about how straight Lionel Baratheon is in this episode.
He's so straight. He's so straight, guys. The straightest.
I'll be honest. It's Lionel's wearing a bit thin on me, but
Eric
I
said,
see where
get
they're
rid of
going.
Lionel, get rid of the horse.
It was a filler scene. It was
sick of this
filler.
I
It was
like
most-
the I
it
like
was
the philosophizing over who Alice is.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
That was cute.
Mhm.
I think
Um,
the last two Lionel scenes, if you either replace like whatever with a random person or if you take that time that Lionel was on screen and let him cook in the tilts and like
Yes!
be knocking dudes and laughing and throwing people's
Like,
crests
yes,
into the
I
crowd.
want to see the. I wanted to see the laughing storm.
Yeah,
I
we
wanted
need
to
to see the
see
laughing
him
storm.
joust and take like the tops off these knights' helmets, like the crowns and the headpieces that they spent all of this gold on, and knock them right off into the crowds of all of these small folks who are all going to take it. Like, they're going to take this stuff and sell it, and then he's like, yes, and he's laughing about it, and they're pissed off. I wanted to see that, and we didn't get it. We
Instead,
got
he just
Lionel
took his
shirtless.
I have a question because I've only read the novellas once. Did we meet Arian by this time, and when does he show up? Or not Arian, sorry, Daron. Where, like, I thought we would know him by now.
Oh, well,
No.
yes, but not. You haven't met him.
I mean, I know, like,
Dunk
in the
has met him,
tavern.
but just the one time.
Dunk,
No.
Dunk met him at the bar. We don't see him again until like Egg reveals himself in the whole trial by 7.
Yeah,
I think we're
Daron
about-
doesn't show
Is
up
it
until Arian starts demanding the trial by 7.
Yes.
He shows up specifically in that scene when they're all, I guess, meeting.
Okay, because
to
remind
talk
me
about it.
what role does Daron play in everything? Because he lies about something?
He
Yes, he
Yes.
lies and says that Dunk kidnapped Egg because he's
That's
literally
right.
he's trying to get out of
Cover his
trouble
ass.
with his father.
Yeah.
He's worried that Makar's going to be pissed. So he's
That's
like,
right.
oh, Dunk came into the bar, kidnapped Egg, ran off with him. I've been looking for him this whole time.
I've been
and then
passed out in my own vomit this whole time.
And then he literally tells Dunk, he was like, I didn't find him down like in my wine cup, and I just didn't look for him beyond that.
what?
Okay.
Yeah,
And then he has the
just
dream.
falls over
He has
during
the
trial.
dream.
Okay. I'm just eager.
Yeah.
I'm eager for my sad drunk boy. I want some more of him. I love a tragic dreamer. Like, I just love how it fucks up men. It just consistently fucks up men when they have these dragon dreams. But Danny was like, I'm just gonna hatch three eggs. No
Just-
biggie.
Built different.
She was
Yeah,
built.
I mean that's
Yeah,
how
just have
that's
three
how I
dragons.
think.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bloodraven has any adverse reactions to dreaming, but I think he had a dream about the Blackfire rebellions, tried to have Daemon assassinated, and failed, and then that's what inevitably causes the Blackfire rebellions. So in
think
trying
it's
to
so-
prevent it from happening,
Mhm.
he literally brings it about like
I
a
think
duck.
it's so interesting how this generation of Targaryens, like, the dreaming is so prevalent.
Yes,
Like,
Mhm.
it's like the dragons died, and it's like they were desperately trying to communicate, like, we'll be back, we're coming back.
well, I mean, Aemon says it in the books. He says, I dreamed of dragons and so did my brothers, and, it ruined all of us.
Which also, okay, so the prophecy, that's not in the novellas, right?
No.
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 What is
The
it?
egg
Are-
gets
Are we
He
talking about the
comes-
spoiler witch?
yeah, the spoiler witch, the
Oh,
summer
the
hall
spoiler
witch.
witch.
Oh my
Listen.
god, that
Listen, these shows.
we gotta talk
and
about that scene
what-
now.
That was
here's
so
my-
unnecessary.
Here's my thing with the spoiler witch is that House of the Dragon just did this with Helena, where she just says
Mhm.
the plot of
Yeah.
like to Aemon of like, here's what's gonna happen to you. I get that they're doing like a nod to like, if you know, you know, or whatever, but like, don't have her say exactly what happens. Like, let it be cryptic. If you're trying to make the joke or whatever, let it be cryptic. Oh, like even do a Viserys thing of like, you'll be crowned with gold and it'll melt or something like
Yeah.
that. Like, do something. I'm kind of sick of the like meta humor of
Yeah.
this.
Question for the
weird.
teachers, because I could be wrong here, but she's also, I think, wrong, right? Because when you join the Kingsguard, do you
I
get
mean,
riches?
Compared, like, in the sense that like you
To the-
don't.
I did not
need money.
interpret that as real.
No,
Um,
I didn't
okay,
either.
yeah,
That kind of seemed like she was being.
That was her bullshitting. That was her
Yeah.
doing her whole thing,
Yeah,
and then
but then
she has a real vision.
A
with
real
Egg.
one.
A
Right.
real one.
but then my thing, yeah, but then my thing with Egg is
No,
do
it's
people
about
hate
it's about
him?
Rhaegar.
Like,
It's very much it's about how Egg will die. There will be this huge tragedy, but people will rejoice because they think that the prince who was promised was born in the
Okay, yeah. Now I can see that because I'm like, I was like, all who know him will rejoice.
His family, because Rhaella successfully has the baby, and he's like this prop, like it's her firstborn male heir.
Sure.
Like there's finally an heir.
Okay,
he's the
that
prince
makes
who was
sense.
promised.
Right.
Like,
and like that nod, is actually like
Not that guy.
okay. I really am annoyed at the at the this is what happens to this character.
That's what I was actually going to say, Phil. Is it felt like it was more. It didn't serve a purpose for Egg. It served a purpose for Rhaegar. Like, I was like, this is more of like a super cryptic way that we get to Rhaegar that ties Rhaegar back to prophecy than really having anything to do with Egg. But I guess that's kind of like the tragedy of Egg is just a step in making Daenerys happen. Egg is a step to Rhaegar. Rhaegar is a step to Dany. Like, I mean, there's something. So George was out of his mind when he decided to be like, okay, tragedy of Summerhall. You got Aegon. What?
Nothing. Never mind.
Rhaegar.
Anyways, sorry. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
So you got Aegon who's thinking I'm prince who was promised, right? Does Summerhall. Then you have Rhaegar born there, which makes him think that he's the prince who was promised. Like, just the fucking domino of it all is a series of men having main character syndrome when it was always going to be a little girl. But then I'm going to still have men in my fucking face telling me it's not Dany. But okay, all right.
This is also like a fandom thing. A lot of people really want to see Summerhall like in a TV show. Maybe this is just me. The only way I want to see it is through some sort of crazy dream with Dany. You know how Chelsea, this is your theory that I absolutely adore, how Daenerys and Rhaegar, they see one another. I would love if she has something similar where she flashes back to Summerhall, not perfectly where she can see everything, but just gets like some sort of flash where like she locks eyes with something or someone and something occurs.
God damn it. Rhaella giving birth. That's what I want.
That could be really cool. Yeah. And I don't get why people are like, oh, I want to see Summerhall. Like, why?
Who wants to see that?
I don't want to see that at all. I don't want to
see it.
Two of my favorite characters die that way.
Exactly. Why? You don't like getting your heart ripped out? Do you even like?
I've had my heart ripped out enough by George. Thank you. Like, I don't need that. I
but it's
really
the
don't
one time.
need it.
It's at the end.
I don't need it.
I want to see Summerhall
because
it's clearly going to be very dramatic for both of them, and it's going to be tragic.
You are also an emotional cutter, so.
I think.
Well, I see what you're saying. I feel like that's very much main series content, not novella content. I don't know why. It's just like my vibes.
But
it's going to be in the novella, though. Like, we're going to see that.
Yeah.
Are we going all the way there?
Supposed to be
it's supposed to end with Summerhall. Like that's why that page is ruined in World of Ice and Fire, is because he doesn't want to. Maybe George doesn't even know what happened, but he doesn't want to spoil what happens in that last novel.
I'm okay with that being a mystery. Like,
no, I mean, I want to know what happened. Like, I want to know what Egg did. Like, what did he think he was doing? What actually happened?
So we have like evidence George wants to do this in a novella?
Yes.
They're gonna go through their whole life.
Wow, I was not aware of this because I knew they wanted to do like 12 to 15 different novellas, but I never thought he'd go all the way to like main series.
I also thought like there's an element of mystery because we don't know exactly how the fire got out of control. We don't know if he was able to like start to hatch a dragon.
Because like Rhaegar only haunts the main narrative. He's not actually part of the main series.
But it's closer. It's my point is, one thing I love about these three novellas is how they feel so distinct because they are so far.
But they're not that far.
But there are little hints. Wait, they're way further away than they are when Rhaegar is born. Because Rhaegar dies when he's like 20 something. We see Duncan Egg like.
We're not going to see Rhaegar die. We're going to see Rhaegar be born.
No, I understand that. So we'd be about. I guess we would be like 50 years from the main series.
Yeah. There's a whole rebellion that's got to happen too.
Alive, like.
I don't know. I just subjectively, I don't know if I want to see that in the novella. I feel like I'd rather get that in Wins, but.
Here's my thing is I know that George has a plan, right? And he supposedly has also handed over like his outlines for the books to the showrunners, all that sort of stuff. I don't see a single version of reality in which this show runs 12 seasons.
No way.
Like
No.
that to me, like, so I would say if the choice is between we get like the whole Dunk and Egg story and it ends at Summerhall versus we get Summerhall at the end of some abbreviated version of Dunk and Egg, like the new novella, if it's like 6 seasons and they do 3 of the novellas that he would have done and then we get Summerhall at the end, I don't want that.
No.
Like, either it's got to be the whole thing.
The whole thing.
You got to tell me the whole story.
Yes, I would want to
end
see it from
somewhere
start to
else,
finish.
'cause I'm not like, don't tell me some like half-assed version of the story. We've been down this road before.
This
But
is
I
like
would really
assuming
like the
this is
actual
assuming we're
novella.
never getting the novels, right?
I'm saying, yeah, or yeah,
Because like if we got the novels,
I'm saying
I don't care what the show does.
totally. I'm
Yeah,
saying,
so it's like
Yeah,
if they're
agreed.
gonna tell that story because it's super important, like we're gonna run into the same issue I think we have with like House of the Dragon, which is that it's not the story that would be right for that time.
Mhm.
Night of the Seven Kingdoms should, like, first off, it should have been movies. But if it wasn't going to be movies and it was going to be a show, it should have been the show made after Game of Thrones. But that's not the way the studio thinks. They wanted They wanted Game of Thrones 2, which is why they were really into the dance. You could tell that they wanted that story very early on because it was Game of Thrones 2. This is not Game of Thrones, but this is what this franchise needs, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. I hope we don't. Did y'all hear that he wants to do like the Boyhood thing of like take like 5 years off and come back to make more
so
seasons?
that Egg is like the right age,
so that the
reasons.
actors can age up.
Oh.
So
the Egg is like older.
I don't see that happening because I do not trust
No.
this company to look
Have that kind of
2 years
longevity.
ahead.
Yeah.
right.
Rather than
No.
5
How-
or 15 years ahead, which is what they're planning essentially.
I just think too.
Eric, I love how like passionate you actually your voice sounds right now.
I think
I would love it though. I would love that
Stranger-
idea, but I don't see it happening.
the Stranger Things
No.
of it all would mean that the show would get memed like crazy because they'd be like, oh, like 5-year break between seasons, whatever. Like,
That would be funny.
Yeah, and in all honesty, like, I mean, I think that was one of the things that contributed to me not really being into the Stranger Things final season. It had been so long.
now if there was a reason that happened aside from whatever Netflix doing show.
My biggest thing with this scene, and maybe this is just, I also feel so privileged to say this because I only finished Dance in last summer for the first time, so I haven't been waiting like everyone else. But whenever they do scenes like this prophecy or House of the Dragon leading to Daenerys, all I can think of is this just ends with Game of Thrones. Like, it just ends with the TV show. So, but
I mean, it
so
doesn't
it's like
have to.
all
but yeah, I see your
roads-
point. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to, but then there's the other argument of like, okay, it ends with Dance leading into Winds, and then I open up Dance and just see the final line go, "Winter has come," and there's just nothing. It's just like we keep building hype for something that is either atrocious or something that like we're just like, please come out.
That may
And
never happen.
Every time it happens, I'm just like, I'm getting so excited, and I'm just gonna end up sad, possibly.
I mean,
like,
it makes me physically ill to think that show Danny may be the only Danny that we ever know in like fullness.
See, like, I've already like, because I stopped watching the show after the final season. Like, I never watched the final season a second time. Like, it was done for me in 2019, and after that, like, I had left it there. So I have almost like forgotten show Danny because I never really like, I did the thing that maybe I shouldn't have done. I watched the first season and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I need to go read the books right now. Right now. And it's 2013. So I'm like, I've got the time. Totally into it. Read all 5 books. Was great. But I was very, very, very attached to these book characters. So show Danny was always disappointing me. always.
Yeah.
So I never, like, I don't think Emilia Clarke, that's Daenerys. Like, I don't associate those things. Like, for me, I left Dany with that dead horse and Drogon eating in front of the Dothraki.
Mhm.
Like, that's how I remember her, and that's
Which
where
they
I
didn't
left
even
her.
give her in the fucking show.
I see. I feel the same way with all the characters. After I read the books, I was just like, okay, this is the canon I'm going with. This is what matters to me now. But again, like this just goes back to my point of they keep hyping up the future,
Which
'cause
is
we're in the
Daenerys.
past. Yeah, and it's just like, but
And you killed
we
her.
don't have.
Like, I hate you.
We, just thinking about, I don't want to bring up House Dragons so much, but thinking about the end of season 2, where you see Daenerys with the dragons, and then thinking about where she ends in season 8, is just like, what are we doing?
Okay, first of all, she should have been bald. That's my biggest complaint about that scene. It would have been perfect otherwise, because the way that it is a 3-headed dragon, and then that like the showrunners came out and they said we weren't promoting any sort of like conclusion about prophecy. Like, I don't need you to. I have eyes and a brain. Like,
Yes.
Jesus.
No,
fucking
the
And I
prophecy-
mean, we also get that. We get that from the Mystery Night when Dunk is like talking about Damon, and he's like, "Yeah, you also dreamed of dragons hatching from stone eggs. Like, that'll ever fucking
I
happen."
love that line so much.
Like, I mean, yeah, it all goes back to Dany. It all goes back to Dany. That's why these stories are being told in the first place. It's all about her. It's always been her.
It's all about Viserion in truth, but yes.
And the Damon's vision, like he gets all that power just to be like, guys, I know how to make dragon Nazis now.
Like,
Good
God damn
news.
it. What's your problem?
I've invented fascism, actually.
Gosh, man. When I was reading A Dance with Dragons and like updating people on my progress, I had no idea how they were going to end the book. I remember sitting there in the car, and I messaged Chelsea immediately after I finished it, and I was just like, "Are we serious? George actually had the guts to end it with Winter Has Come." Like, I could have never expected how brutal the cliffhanger was going to be, and now they just tease me with every single show, every single product.
Winter is coming.
Oh, like
Yeah.
the way, oh my gosh, like the epilogue of Dance is crazy because how Kevin dies, how Maester Pycelle dies, like with his head split open, like that
I
whole
didn't think there was
like
gonna
that
be an
whole thing was
epilogue.
wild.
Like, I thought it was just going to end because he does epilogues, like he did for Storm. So I was like, okay, maybe they'll skip an epilogue and then one for Feast. When I saw the epilogue, I was like, what? And then it just ends with Winter Has Come, and I'm just like, oh my god, I kind of get the rage now.
And like you have Kevin's last conversation with Cersei, and he's like, oh shit. Like, she says that one line about like women knowing their place, and he's like, she's crazy. Like, it's the way, it's her line, it's her delivery of how she says it, where he's like, I'm freaking out. Like, this is deeply unsettling. And then he goes off and gets killed exactly as his brother did. So obviously Tyrion is in the walls. He's in the floorboards. He's in the Red Keep. He's everywhere. Like, they're hiding him in King's Landing. So she literally has to burn it all down because that's her only thing that she's left with. Like, that's it. That's the solution. So, and like, that is the biggest buildup for me, is I know that Cersei is on her last chord. She's done. Jaime did not show up for her. Jaime didn't show up for her. You've got the freaking Faith Militant and the High Sparrow going ape shit. Like, she's just been humiliated in front of everybody in King's Landing. And not only that, but she has realized at this point that she's not as perfect as she thought she was. So, like, that was, like, to be that narcissistic and that full of yourself and have that, like, veil brought over you by force, like, that is a huge shock. And then she's going to inevitably find out that Aegon is coming and that he's close, like, he's right there. It's all going to be too much. And like, even though she's pissed at Kevin, the way he dies is going to be the final straw for her. And that's where I think Varys didn't consider that at all. Like, he did not consider that this woman is this bad off. He's just always thought that she was kind of dumb. No.
See, this monologue perfectly encapsulates my issue with all of these things. It's every time you get something cool, they, especially United Seven Kingdoms, which is so disconnected from the main series, the second you bring the prophecy lady in, I'm just slingshotted back to wanting to talk about the main series and
Yeah.
the Winds of Winter, and I'm just like,
That's what they want. They got us.
yeah, it's not there. But that's the point. It's like they have it, and I really do believe we will get wins. I know some people think we won't, whatever it is, but like we are probably 4 or 5 of the most George supporter people in the fandom, and even for us, it's just like, oh, like you keep teasing it, you know.
Push pause. That's gonna be.
Well,
I'm
see,
sorry, gonna
I'm
harass
of the
him
strong
so
belief.
Stop beefing with Ryan Condal and write the damn book.
Yeah.
I'm of the strong belief
Six
that
blog
George.
posts. How many chapters can you get done in that time?
Exactly.
No,
But
that's
I
fair.
also think that George has the like outline. It is going to be, I mean, if he hasn't written it already, he could have written it already. A Dream of Spring for him is just wrapping up the story. I think for him, like the difficulty has always been wins, because he's got to bring all of these characters, or at least what remains of them, together. And Daenerys still has so much left to do that makes things extremely complicated, because you have, I mean, young Griff is on the precipice of having it out with Cersei. So like obviously there's got to be a 6th rebellion, and Dany has to be a part of that. So like how are we going to bring her over from Essos with everything that she has to do and fight in this rebellion? Like the timeline has got to speed up for her.
We can't even talk about Dany, because there's 4 freaking battles that need to get paid off, that were supposed to get paid off in Dance, that are now supposed to be, that now may take up the first quarter or half of wins.
Yeah.
And only
Yeah,
so
it's not. It's like it's he. I don't know what he can do to wrap it up in 2 books, other than just change what a book is, you know? Like,
I think he has to divide it in volumes. I think it literally has to be the
Winds
Winds of
is
Winter volumes
Winds
1,
is
2,
4
3, and 4.
volumes, and it's
Change what a book is. You don't have
4,000
to change it.
and it's 4,000 pages, you know?
I really do. I think we have to
found a way
get
to
like
release Winds.
multiple
Change what
volumes
a
of the
book
Winds
is.
of Winter.
So
Yeah.
I like over the last 3 months, I've put, no joke, hundreds of hours into just John. I'm just like, okay, where do I think John is going to end up in Winds? And my first question is, how long is he dead? And I literally just threw my hands up. I was just like, minimum a few days, maximum a few months, because the timeline just, it's so crazy to me. There's so much going on. You have the Battle of Ice, and I was able to construct in a way where I have John being the Lord of Winterfell in what I think is a reasonable fashion, but then you have like Lady Stoneheart's in the neck, Arya is in Bravos, Dany is still in the Dothraki Sea. So at some point, one of these characters is just going to have to either get stuck somewhere for a long time, or just wait so Daenerys can show up. Because there's no way they're beating the others without Dany, like, duh. So John needs to either be dead for a long period of time or find some other way to keep himself busy until Daenerys gets there. And
Give
it's
that
just
man
like,
something to do. Fuck.
Yeah.
Comes back from the dead and then just hits the whatever.
Snooze.
You know, he can be in
So,
he can
sleep
be in
button.
Ghost for as long as the plot needs it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
Yeah,
winter,
yeah.
so his body is being preserved. So there's that.
mhm. And I think there's just so many different theories and directions George could take. And it's like, okay, which path do I go with the most? Because like I discovered that Lady Stoneheart was in the neck a few days ago, and it rocked my mind. I'm like, what is Stoneheart doing basically with Howland Reed at this point? And I asked a few people the other day, I was like, what do you think is Lady Stoneheart's ending arc? And everyone just gave me like 10 different answers, just like, and here lies the problem. George has given himself so many different characters that have 10 different plot lines they can go through, and it's like, okay, how do I make this all work?
Yeah,
Well,
I think some of that was probably intentional. I see like how George left himself a lot of different pathways
Yeah.
that would make sense. He's like, I could do this and that would make sense. I could do this and that would make sense. So you have a lot of characters who like narratively are compelling to interact with each other, but it may never happen for that
Mhm.
exact reason, that it's not practical. The logistics of it aren't practical. Like there's tons of narrative stuff that I would love to see that makes sense thematically, but just could never fucking happen.
This is why I
Logistically.
say
Mhm.
Quentin is alive, and he's gonna fly Viserion over to Aegon so we can speed things up.
But what?
Quentin exists just to
Do
speed
I-
up the plot.
I mean, what like
Is that like a-
What else
otherwise
is before?
he literally like all he did was set the dragons loose, you know?
Free. It's true.
Ooh.
Which is
Do
kind
I-
of like, which is kind of a useful thing. Thank you
flies
for
But it's
Sure,
one,
making
but
it
it's
sense.
one, it's
Falls-
one
and
chapter.
falls
It's
off
one
into the
chapter,
sea.
and it's like it's bloated into 4 chapters, which is all great stuff. I don't want to say it's bad, but I'm just saying it's like it's when
It's not
you're
really
when you're
moving
worried
anything
about
along.
how to wrap it up in 2 books.
The
Like
wind
maybe
blown.
you shouldn't have spent if indeed he's not alive and you're not gonna have him do things later. Why have
Did
those
you
4
need to waste all
chapters
these
there?
chapters?
So
on
it's
him?
just like 4 chapters to solve an issue with. Oh my god! Sorry guys, excuse me.
The only thing that I could think of is
Okay,
that
good.
Arianne will blame Daenerys and then hook up with young Griff. Like that's the only thing narratively that would make sense for that. But also at the same time, I really need Daenerys and young Griff to have an initial good interaction to where like she wants to have this bond with him. He is assuming that like he's entitled to marry her, and then like ultimately this turns sour.
I
Mhm.
I was just laughing about that sequence in particular, Ashley, because out of context, someone tuning into a live about this episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms and
It's
hearing
like,
you
what?
say Arion is gonna blame Daenerys and then hook up with Aegon.
Arianne,
That
let
was
me
the-
be very specific.
I saw someone
It's
talking
like-
about that about the podcaster's dilemma of having to talk about Aerion Targaryen and Arianne Martell.
Ariane.
Damn it, George! Why do these names have to sound so similar?
Hey,
That's funny.
So
We talked
Now
about
that-
the entire episode, y'all. So we're just
We
here
did,
now.
okay.
We're
I was
shitting
gonna-
shit now.
I was gonna say, like, did, like, all things considered, halfway through the season, like, are y'all rocking with this, or
Yeah.
did you not like it enough for it to be like actually disappointing?
I
I
have
still like I love Arion. I love Arion and where like that I love his character. I love the like direction the actor is going with his character. I think it's rock solid. I think Dexter is doing a phenomenal job. Like that I mean, even though it was a little cheesy, that like I shaved it off, brother. I did not want to look like you. Like that line still went hard. Yes, the like goofy painting to
Mhm.
different characters, that was stupid, but the line went hard. It was good. I think overall I'm rocking with the show. I really wish they would tone down the comedy, and I'm hoping now that we have this reveal, we're getting into more serious
That's what I was thinking.
aspects
I-
because it's a little too silly for me
I
right
think
now.
I have a feeling there's going to be a pretty significant tone shift in
Yes.
this episode.
I
Like,
really hope that is what they're doing here.
Yeah.
Is that they were trying to make this more fun and carefree, because that's Dunk's perspective and that's also Egg's perspective. Like they're having the time of their lives and this is a really good time. And then I'm hoping that this is the shift.
what I'm
Wait, hold
I,
on.
no,
sorry,
sorry,
no.
no, go ahead, because I asked a question and then I'm
Random-
trying to talk about it.
Sorry, random aside. What did everybody think of the egg from Dunk and Egg?
Oh, because people are like, it's too big.
The goose egg.
It looks so good.
It looked like an ostrich egg. I'm
Looks
That
so
is-
good.
It
that
does.
is
It
some-
did. It did.
That is some George ass looking food.
That was my thing. Is I was
like
like,
that
they
he just
finally
made a
showed the
breakfast
food.
sandwich.
They never showed the food, or they show a food that's like bread and slop or whatever. And I'm like, that's been like the whole show. They never show the actual good ass food, and that breakfast sandwich.
That sandwich looked banging. I'm
The
not gonna lie.
bread-
Like I'd have killed that sandwich.
Absolutely.
And just the way that, Egg had complained about eating the hard salt beef, and he was like, "You're gonna eat it, you're gonna like it," and then he goes
Yeah.
and makes him a beautiful fucking breakfast sandwich.
It's
I do have
freaking
one point on
delicious.
that later, but I will save it.
My thoughts on the season as a whole. I think some accountability here on my end because I did do this too. I was going into this thinking it was gonna be like the novella born again. It was just gonna be perfect, like nothing. I was so excited, and there's no reality whether that was ever gonna be. but I think the soul of the story is intact, and that is by far the most important aspect. So I really do love it. It's just like a separate love from the novella. It's like different experiences. But I will say, I haven't seen the whole season. I know some people have, but I've heard rumors that there is a very massive flashback after a very key moment. And if they end up doing a flashback just right before the huge fight, it will break my heart. It will actually just break my heart in two.
I think they are going to. Like, honestly, I
the massive
think
flashback.
I think they're going to
about
do a
dagger?
flashback in the next episode, because it's like Dunk has time to sit in a prison cell, so it's like, you know, I feel like, because we know that there's a young Dunk. We've already seen a young Dunk. I think there's also a young girl actress. So, which is, I forget her name in the novel.
Oh, the one who chased it.
She has a name in the novella.
In Lannisport?
Is it
The
in
girl that
Lannisport?
kisses
No,
him?
in King's
No, it's
Landing.
in Flea Bottom.
Oh.
It's in
when
Flea
he
Bottom.
was-
It's a little girl. He like chases her with something, doesn't
Like,
he?
her name
or
is-
she chases him.
Oh, he chases her with a severed head.
Severed head. Yeah.
Oh my god! Yes! Oh my gosh!
But she
I
has a
remember
name.
that.
She has a name. I forgot what it is.
No,
though.
wait! No!
She
He
has a
like
name.
he doesn't mention a name. He says the names of his friends, and they chase girls around with the severed head, and then eventually the head rots, and they throw it in like the pot, like the stew pot.
Ugh.
Ugh.
I just on the topic of my rocking with the show, because I'm still like thinking about this. My biggest criticism so far is genuinely Baelor. I think there are, and it's not that the character is like bad. It's just there's a few little things that are off for me, and I am genuinely terrified they're gonna mess something up in the final moments with him. And I'm just praying they don't.
Yeah, having him needing that like jostle from Dunk, like don't you remember? That really threw me off, because like Baelor remembered Arlen all on his own. He didn't need Dunk to say that. So I didn't like that they changed
Yeah.
that. So I'm
Baelor-
hoping that moving forward, we don't have stuff like that.
So I'm
Baelor,
rocking pretty hard with the show, and I think it's because I've only read the novellas once.
Well, I think like in general I'm enjoying it,
Yeah.
and like I would agree that the tone at times is like a little too goofy, where I'm
I agree.
like you're kind of undercutting your own story with this, and
Mhm.
like my biggest worry through this whole thing, and I would say for the most part I've felt, like you said, or you know, like a couple of you said, like the spirit of it is intact, and I feel like they have they understand the heart of the story that's being told. I have not thought that with previous adaptations.
Agreed.
Of like, do they actually understand the point of all this, right? Like, I think that they get the point. My concern is that, are other people getting the point? Like,
Yeah.
Like, as-
Always the
in the way
concern,
that they're-
Phil.
but that's my anxiety about this one, is not like, are they gonna hit the notes for me? It's like, is this hitting for people, like for a broader
The
audience?
normies,
Like
the
fans?
people who don't read the books. Yeah.
Like in the way,
Um,
and I'd be surprised if it's landing the way the novellas like hit for me as a
So
That's fair.
my
I'm watching it with my mom, who
Right.
has never, read the books or anything, and she's very much, I think, picking up what's being put down in terms of like theme, and
Sure.
which also
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all saw that exchange that I had with Ronnie, because Ronnie had that video that was like, "What the fuck is with people thirsting for Maekar? I don't get it." And I was like, "This is personal. Excuse me."
I was like, oh shit, Ronnie's starting beef.
Shots fired.
Shut
And
your mouth,
we
Ronnie.
had this funny little exchange where I was like, you just don't understand. I'm
Ron,
going to my room.
stop.
I'm going to my room, and he was like, you'll thank me in 10 years when you're not married to a Targaryen. And it really brings out like this like petulant teenager in me. And it just killed me, because my mom, Maekar wasn't even in this episode, but Arian was. And she was like, I don't understand you liking that Maekar guy. Like, he's such a prick. Why is he such a prick? And then he raised this kid, and I was like, okay, Ronnie, like in my own home, like
Shut your
go to my
mouth.
room again.
So I'm watching it with my girlfriend Katarina, and she has watched all the shows, hasn't read the books. She's like locked in. Like she's picking up all of the themes. What's funny too is at the end of the first episode, I was just like, so what do you think about Dunk being a knight? And she's like, oh, he's not a knight. He's not a knight. Like it's so clearly he's lying. And I was like, all right, like you're locked. We're doing good. So I think generally speaking, the broader fans will buy into it if they're like willing to work with the story and actually think about what's putting down. Phil, you made a great video the other day, or it was actually on a live last week, saying how like it's so important we talk about the show in relation to the real world, so because it's just so potent. And I made an effort to do that more this week because of that statement. But I really do think that people are going to get it if they cut the shit with the music. Like if they really stop doing that. Like if we end this season just like, because think about it, like you start the first episode, you have all this music, the stupid editing, and then you get to the conclusion and it's just like silence. People like just the fires blaring and everyone just staring at it. It's just like, oh my God. If they do that, I'd be more forgiving for the music with hindsight. But if they don't, like if they play the music over the fire, I'll lose my mind.
Cry.
And
Yeah.
This is kind of my thing is, and this is maybe it goes back to the whole movie thing where I kind of have the feeling, and I don't 100% know this because I haven't seen it, but I have the feeling, or I have the hope, I guess I should say, that when you watch it as a complete thing, it will probably tonally hit the right sort of notes, right?
Yeah.
Where right now on the front half, we're like, this is too goofy. And we all know what's gonna happen, and we're like, "This is not a fucking funny story." Like,
No.
Do you think that maybe they're being intentional? And I think you do because you touched on the possibility of like a tonal shift from here on out.
Yes.
But it's meant to sort of put you in Dunk's shoes. That it goes from being this thing, this kind of simple. To quote myself, what is it, jolly vanting about? And then all of the sudden, in a matter of minutes, it shifts, and then the tone shifts. And so I think if it's done right, it could be a really useful way to submerge the audience in the same sort of experience as Dunk, which to your point, that's going to translate much better as a whole unit.
Yeah.
Which speaks to Eric's point that it probably would have been better as a movie.
I've been saying this from the start, but I agree with all his points. One thing that I heard at Comic-Con from Peter Claffey, right? That's the guy who plays Dunk. The second he said this, I actually got a little emotional because I was like, oh my God, they're getting it. They were up on a panel and the guy was like, what's everyone's favorite scene? And Dunk gets the mic, Peter Claffey, and he goes, I really just found a specific scene in episode 5 where I get to say something to be incredibly important and profound, and that's obviously the like, are there no true knights among you moment. And for him to say that was his favorite scene in the entire season, I was just like, at bare minimum, the main character understands. And can I ask for more?
No, totally. And
the actors, the actors, I can at least say understand what they're doing. Like they are giving these characters every bit of justice that they deserve.
Did they seek out Peter? Because he was a rugby player, right? Like, is this like a thing? He was like, I'm going to be an actor. Like, I'm going to be Dunk. Or was someone like, you're fucking enormous.
Yeah. You can't teach size. That's
he was in like I think 2 TV, I don't know what they call them over there, but
Okay, so he was making an intentional transition from like athlete.
I tell you what though, after his audition, I have to assume that they had a conversation with him or something like that, because when this man talks about anything, like in his life, any kind of discussion, anything that comes out of his mouth, I'm like, you lunk.
You for real.
You are literally Sir Duncan the Tall. Listen to you.
Oh my God, I need to tell this story. So at Comic-Con, they asked him a question about like what his favorite thing is, and he made a point that he said something about A Song of Ice and Fire was better than Lord of the Rings, and the second it came out of his mouth, he was just like, oh, Twitter is not going to be happy with me. And I was just like, he's perfect.
We are watching Dunk the Lunk.
Yeah, and like when you watch the interviews between like him and Dexter, like when they're interacting, it's very much Dunk and Egg. Like Dexter is so sarcastic and so witty that it's good.
I like the interview clip where it's like a bunch of the cast and they're asking like about nicknames, and like Peter says he gives something about skateboarding or whatever, and then he's like, but my girlfriend would call me like Master Farter or something like that.
Like it's such I'm saying it's literally he's Dunk. He is Sir Duncan. Like, I mean, just the goofiest motherfucker. I love it. I love it.
Interview though is between Birdie and the guy who plays Makar, because they can't remember Anvil, so they're like, big boy. I was like,
and then Chelsea and I are like, yeah.
The one thing I will say too about the tonal shift being sort of maybe foreshadowed or acted is I did think that the way that they handled Dunk turning, like he got the blind rage, right?
Yep.
His facial expression felt very, very deliberate in terms of it is not a like bar fight vibe. It is like it is like he is literally like it is rage. It is like righteous anger, however you want to like classify it. So that does make me think too that it's like a shift in Dunk. It's not just like where it's like, oh, he's like this goofy guy who doesn't really know what the fuck he's doing. It's like when he has like something that is moving him, like he does not hesitate, he does not, and he is not joking about it. Like
that anxiety drops, right? Like
that's
all
what
of
I
the
think.
fears and overthinking and everything, it just strips away, and we're gonna see a lot more of that happening with him.
That's what I think. Like with the comedic, like the comedic tone shift, like they can redeem that, like the upping on the comedy and it being too much. They can redeem all that for me if that takes a total shift in this next episode. So we see that like everything about the comedy and the fun of it was I know he's literally been licking me for like the past 10 minutes. Thank you so much. This is my 14-year-old ancient cat who's like obsessed with doing that. Anyway, like he's just been sitting here and consistently doing it. I'm just like whatever, but like
but he's doing this because he doesn't really open his eyes ever. He's like
I mean,
he's that smiling emoji that's like the little like smile, eyes closed.
Yeah.
He's always got his eyes closed. He looks very like woosaw.
He's like an actual anime cat.
He opens his eyes occasionally, believe it or not, he does. But like for the most part, he's just
him with his eyes open, not once. Anyway, sorry.
But if we get that tone shift, then I will understand why they went in the comedy direction, because it's all from Dunk's perspective and how this was supposed to be fun. And yes, he's nervous about it, but it was supposed to be an opportunity for him. And like he was having a really good time with Egg, and now that's shifted.
Right, like they're screaming, they're like, and now it's
like this is fun. Like, we're seeing them have a really good time at this time.
It's also not Egg anymore. It's Aegon Targaryen, right?
I can't.
Too.
Yes.
I can't stress enough how much faith I would have in the show if not for the editing and music in that final moment. Like I would have been so
like it
sold.
freaks me out because I'm like, are you gonna have Baelor's brain fall out and there's some terrible music
playing?
Oh
like, my god.
No.
I want it silent. I want it awkward.
My personal favorite moment from novella 1, like small moment other than obviously like Baelor as a person or the character, is when Dunk is on top of Aerion, and it very much reminds me of Tyrion and Jaime's thoughts in battle, where like they get that bloodlust, and Dunk is on top of him and he's grabbing him and he goes, for a second I had the thought to pluck his violet eye out.
Yes!
So that wouldn't be nightly. That is my favorite.
That is my favorite. I have said it's smash it like a grape, and then he's but that wouldn't be nightly. I was like, oh my god, that's perfect.
Listen, I love Jaime Lannister as a character. Jaime Lannister's a bum. He's got every excuse in the world for why he's a terrible person, and Dunk at every turn, and specifically in that moment, it's like every single thing is telling him just do it. Like you're right to just be a bad person for a second. But then it's just like, nah, I'm too much.
That wouldn't be nightly though. That would be nightly.
And what I'm thinking about, how are they going to portray that in the actual? Because that's in his head. He can't say that obviously. if they do something where you just get a shot of his face up front, and he has that same look he has when he
and like
grabs
looking
him,
at his eyes specifically.
Yes.
Oh,
And then-
yes.
and
I mean,
then
I think that Peter does a really good job with micro expressions.
He
I
does.
think
Yes.
he conveys
He
emotion
does.
very well.
if they kill that scene like one for one, it's just perfect. I'll be like, all right, all their issues excused. We're chilling.
But yeah, I do agree. Like the scene with Baelor really has to be like, and especially the lines that are exchanged between the two of them before he passes away. Like, I am your man. I am your man, Your Grace. And he's like, the realm. And then he's like, the realm needs good men. And like,
and then fucking dies. Get out of here.
yeah.
God.
And then he's like, you know, can you help me get off my helm? My fingers, they feel like wood. And yeah, but like, it is such a powerful exchange between the two of them. And not only that, but Dunk thinks about this later. This man literally saved my life twice. Like, and the second time he was literally dying. Like, I need that scene too, because that scene is funny as shit. Even though Baelor is about to die, like, it's funny because they're like, oh yeah, pour boiling oil.
Yeah, the boiling oil.
He's like, oh, he's gonna bleed out. Pour boiling oil on it, and Baylor's like, no.
But yeah, that's why that scene's so powerful, and why I'm so happy with us for just lying to all of our loved ones about the truth of the story. Is like everyone's like, oh my god, it's so lighthearted, and then that happens. It's just like, because you think all is good, and to make it worse, like for me, what always gets me, like I could cry just thinking about it, is when after he's like, they say that I said up, just like thunder, like that. Just every time I'm like, it just kills me.
I need that. I need all of that. I need a Dunk to like get up and grab him and say up. Like I need to feel like my heart is literally being ripped out of my chest and crushed in front of me. Like I need it. I need to feel the agony that I felt the first time I read that book, because the first time I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a great book. Like, I'm loving this story. It's awesome. And then, like, the prince's brains fall out, and I'm like, oh my God. It's George. It's George. So obviously he's got to kill me.
It was my favorite part of doing our podcast with Belock and rereading the Hedge Knight, because she was reading it for the first time. And she, as we're going through the story, like we're doing this very close reading of it, she's like, I was promised whimsy.
Where's the whimsy?
And she's like, is the whimsy in the room with us? Like what? Like where is the whimsy? And I'm like,
it's George, so we have to have tragedy in there. Has to.
I honestly think that, like you said it, Constantine, like it's a lie. This is like this is the show. This is show Littlefinger or whatever. Like,
yeah,
it's the Thousand Swords of Aegon's enemies or whatever. Like, is the whimsy in the Dunk and Egg novellas, because they are not whimsical. They are fucking devastating. Like, each one is fucking crazy. But yeah, so the whatever is that, it's a lie. The whimsy in the in the Dunk and Egg novella.
So I have pre-reserved my spot for episode 6 of this podcast. I've had it submitted for weeks now. I am very interested to go back to this episode 3 weeks from now and see how things change. Because really, I feel like so much of both our praise and criticism lives and dies by those last 2 episodes. Yeah. It's just like, do they stick?
They really, like, if they don't stick to certain scenes being the way they are in the novellas, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm just going to be like that whole last interaction between Dunk and Baelor. If it doesn't hit, if I don't feel like I just want to crawl in bed and just sit there all day, like I'm not gonna be happy.
That's how I feel about the Maekar Dunk scene.
Oh yeah, like that final scene too. Like that is so powerful, because Maekar's like, no, like you're not gonna have my son sleeping on the ground and eating salt beef, and he's like, well, look at your other sons, like.
And it's the silence after the fact.
And like how he just like and this actor is gonna nail that, dude. Like if they gave it to him right, he's gonna be like, Like that same look where he was like, I hope your sons aren't dead. That's the look. And then he's just gonna walk out.
Oh,
So
sorry. Go ahead.
no, you go. You
No,
know,
because I'm gonna change the subject. So
my last thought on that is I actually like the idea then that Makar is so vocal in these opening episodes, like cursing and talking all this time, because that'll make the contrast of him just like so much better.
Yeah. There's definitely
like
everybody wants to talk about how like good, like, oh, Makar's a brat, oh, like this isn't like serious. I mean, like Chelsea has been saying this was a vulnerable time for him. Like he's with Baelor and he feels comfortable being that vulnerable in front of Baelor. So Dunk is seeing that side of him. But like after he kills his own brother, because I don't care what anyone says, yes, he was angry at his brother. He didn't want his brother dead. So like he's devastated. So we're definitely going to see a huge shift in how Makar behaves for the rest of his life.
Belak has a theory that it was actually Aerion who killed Baelor, and that's why Makar ships him off like so readily in the aftermath of all of that.
I've heard that theory, but it's so much more potent if it's not that.
It's one of those things where there's two instances where Aerion is like not right in Dunk's vision, right? Where it could have happened. Like it's feasible. I don't know if it's what I like the most. But yeah, I think I think the ambiguity always makes it interesting.
So
I don't want them to remove the ambiguity.
This is like
I want them to leave it. Like we might see I don't want us to see the mace strike that does it.
No, because like Makar doesn't know for sure. He says it probably was me.
It needs to be a little bit.
But he doesn't know for sure. And I think that that's probably the only reason why Makar doesn't just kill himself. Like,
and I think the part of Makar being like accept it is because it's his fault regardless.
Right.
Yeah.
It's his fault regardless.
Exactly, and that's the thing is like whether it was Aerion, whether it was him, whether it was one of the Kingsguard, like whoever, right?
He could have stepped up and said, "Hey, like you're an actual piece of shit, and this hedge knight held you accountable. I'm sending you to Lys because you're out of control."
I want to emphasize that this is going to be the first time that Makar is genuinely confronted with how terrible Aerion is, because the mask has always been worn. So like I don't want us going into this as like he should have, and I'm not saying you were, but like this
no I'm meaning Makar is going to think that
he shouldn't have defended his son. Like that's his child, you know, and while he does acknowledge, you know, I'm sure knows that he's a pompous ass wipe, like he's Targaryen, that's kind of par the course. Like I don't think he, you know, knows the really nasty shit. I don't think that he knows that Aerion
I think I misspoke
in the middle of the night and held a knife to his groin and was like, "I'm gonna make you my sister." I don't think Makar knew that shit like that was going on. You know,
I think from Makar's because I think I misspoke. That's like from Makar's perspective. Like, should I have done this instead of allowing this to get this far into a trial by 7? Should I have just said, "Hey, like, that you were a dick for doing this"? Like I think that that's going to be his reflection of like what he could have done differently that would not have led to Baelor's death.
So I'm gonna bring this. I'll make this a little more depressing because I think we're being too happy with Makar right now. I like the idea that he knows but doesn't want to accept it. Like he knows this is probably what's going on, but can't bring himself to accept that this is like the truth of his family. Because like George loves to put that idea throughout everything, where it's like these fathers who are so distant and like to pretend like everything's good. Like Tywin, I would really love if in that final moment, because that's what the silence always spoke to me. It's just like Dunk speaks and he's just like, "Yep, yeah, you're just right," and I'm just gonna have to eat that.
I don't think he knows how horrible Aerion. Like I don't think he knows some of the atrocities that he's done, but I think he knows that like he's not a great kid. Like, but at the same time, that's like he's also his pride. I mean, there's the fact that Aerion is not a bad jouster. That like he's talented, he's handsome, like he's everything that a Targaryen is supposed to be. So I think that that's part of the reason why Makar wants to overlook some of the uglier things. And he like, I mean, it's like you said, I think he wants to believe that Aerion is just a brat, but he's not that bad.
correct me if I'm wrong, is Aerion his eldest son?
Yes.
No, Daron is.
Oh, right, Daron, drunken. Forget about him.
Okay.
So, but that's
okay.
but it's kind of like the whole thing with Randall Tarley. Like, Arion is still like, even though he's the second son, like that's his pride. Like that's the son who's going to make something of himself. That's why he says that about Daron. Like, I'm going to turn him into like what I want him to be, or I'll see him dead. Like,
Yep.
It's I don't know. It is an interesting dynamic. I hope we get all of that. And the thing that I will slightly change subject on, just because this is one other concern that I have, is it feels like they're trying to replace my boy Humphrey with Robin Reisling, and I'm not about this because
no, they better not.
So,
like, I really liked. I liked that backstory.
Patch.
Like, I liked that flashback with his eyeball falling. Like, I mean, that was awesome. That
crazy.
was freaking cool. But like, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
So I felt like they were doing a couple of things with Robin Reisling, and I do think there is a like, hey, remember the other show going on with Beric Dondarrion of.
I was thinking the same thing. I could...
This eye patch, the character, like it just looks like Beric Dondarrion, and then
the voice,
and then he was being all cryptic and saying "we" and all this shit, and I was like, when he was just talking about himself,
Lord?
And he's like, I am like I'm a like
the warrior,
the avatar of the warrior
Yeah, well, what I felt like they were doing was playing with berserkers. Like the idea that like when you're fighting, when you are in war, or in this case in a fucking tourney, which is simulated war, I guess, you know, that bloodlust takes over, and you like, and that's why his eyeball was hanging out, but he's like, anyway.
Yeah. Well, he's also supposed to be kind of mad. Like, he's supposed to be kind of crazy. So like, I think they're playing it up on that.
He's very much the archetype of a berserker.
The intro that he got, and then the way that they did the Humphrey thing makes me think that Robin Reisling is going to fight in Dunk 7 and not Humphrey, which will kind of piss me off, if I'm not going to lie.
Well,
like
they both do.
I was going to say, doesn't Egg get Robin Reisling?
No,
like, he's
Robin
in there.
Reisling and Harding are both on Dunk's side.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know, it just felt weird with the way that they set this one up and then didn't intro Humphrey Harding.
Well, yeah, and it's also weird because Egg knows Reisling in the Hedge Knight, like in the book. He knows him, and that's why he goes to get him. And yet he's being introduced to him in the show like they don't know each other. And Egg very much knows him in the book. So that kind of confused me. Like, I love the flashback scene. Don't get me wrong. Sure. Like, a dude running around with his eyeball falling out, that's freaking awesome. Like, I love that. But Egg knows him in the book, so that doesn't really... make a lot of sense that he would be like, oh, that's who you are.
With the exception of, and this is the only other one sort of like weird thing that I had is like Dunk not knowing stuff about how tourneys work, where Egg is like, no, you can't enter the tourney today. Like, it's only for the Knights of High Renown or whatever. It's like Dunk's been around tourneys.
Squire.
His whole
they've
like,
made him dumber. They've
life.
Made him dumber for the show.
Like, this is all he's been doing for the last like 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
And then they've done the whole thing with Egg where he, you know, one of his first lines in the whole show is the line of like, I know all the good ones. Like, do you know every knight in the realm? Yeah, all the good ones. He hasn't known a single fucking person who's not like Lionel Baratheon in the show. Like, every single person is like brand new to him. And they introduce themselves, and he's like, whatever, like.
So if I'm going super in, like trying to be as annoying as possible with my criticisms, Dunk is definitely dumber in the novella, and there are a handful of scenes where in the novella, Dunk says something, and it makes sense that he'd be teaching Egg a lesson. Like, the under the star thing, he says that to Egg. Or, like, that conversation, no, he says the thing about the tents above. Like, he's the one who tells Egg, but in the show, Egg says that to him, and it's just like, wait, it makes more sense for Dunk to say that, because Dunk is teaching him about, you know, being humble, being just a regular person. And there are definitely a handful of moments like that where I'm just like, I feel like you're leaning way too far into the, oh, this guy's dumb but he's the muscle, and this guy is little and smart kind of dynamic. But it doesn't like break the story
Pinky in the brain
per se. Yeah.
I agree, Constantine. Because when I read the novella, I kind of felt like, sorry, my phone really wants to die. I kind of felt like he wasn't as stupid, like that people are always telling him he's stupid, but he's not really that stupid. Like, yes, he has moments where it's like dunk the lunk, you know? But it being more of like it's put on him because he's awkward and because he's quiet and because of these things versus him like actually being dumb.
He's got really good instincts,
Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah, he's not entirely like
more of that now that we see, you know, we really saw something shift in Dunk. So I think, you know, like you said, a lot of our judgment kind of hangs on these next few episodes and how things shift and how things change.
Yeah. He's definitely not just stupid in the books. So I'm hoping that we like kind of move away from that.
Yeah, I very much, when I read the books, I felt like it was something that just is put on him more than it's something that's true about him.
And it's like Sir Arlen, I don't know, like the flashbacks with Sir Arlen, he seems a lot more harsh on Dunk, whereas Dunk thinks about him calling him a lunk in The Sworn Sword, and he's like, Sir Arlen said that with affection, whereas you know, like we get, what's his name? Like, why am I forgetting? Like, why am I blanking on this? His name in The Sworn Sword, the brown guy.
The kicking guy.
Bennis.
Sir Bennis of the Brown Shield. Yeah. Like, whereas he definitely says distinctly like that. Sir Bennis says that with malice, whereas Sir Arlen said lunk with affection. So I think they like made Sir Arlen a little too freaking mean.
I think they're doing it does feel like they're doing a bit of a thing in the show, because one of the things about the book that kind of comes through is that Dunk really leans on the mentorship of that he got, right? And a lot of his motivation for taking care of Egg is like, I got taken care of and I need to take care of this
yes,
person.
it's his pay it forward. He literally says this.
They're doing a little bit more of a like, I'm choosing a different path than how I got mentored, and it's maybe a little bit more of the like abusive like relationship type thing where it's like he's choosing to be, because he does the whole like you'll eat the hard salt beef or you'll eat my fist, and then immediately is like, that didn't feel good, I'm not doing that. We joked last night on the live stream that Dunk is the first gentle parent. And where he's like gentle parenting Egg.
Yes.
And
he's like, maybe I shouldn't beat him after all.
And I think like I'm letting the show. I'm gonna let him cook a little bit more, because I'm hoping that there is like, because a lot of the stuff that Dunk, like what we've seen up till now, there's not a lot of suggestion that Arlen ever took Dunk seriously or ever wanted to ever teach him anything.
Yeah.
And the reality is that he does know how to fight. He does know how to like arm himself, all this sort of stuff. He's not great, right? Like he's not a great knight in the like martial sense in the books either, because he just hasn't.
But I mean, we get the sense that Sir Arlen wasn't a good knight either.
But that's the thing, is Arlen did teach him the fundamentals, and like did make sure that he could survive and he could like do what he needed to do. So I think the mentor relationship, I'm just hoping that it comes through a little bit more, that Arlen didn't just like drag this kid around for 10 years and like to just like die or whatever.
Well, it's kind of like where he thinks about how, you know, how he can't read, but that Sir Arlen really harps on him about learning like the houses and their sigils. Like it's clear that Sir Arlen did teach him things, and it was important to him that he learn. And I mean, Dunk's not great with a lance, but I mean, he can fight with a sword. Like he's a hell of a sword fighter, so he was obviously learning something from his master, and that it just felt way more like a mentor relationship, and like this was the only father figure he ever had.
Well, and Arlen, I mean, to be fair to show Arlen, he was probably suffering from some sort of like chronic blood oxygen shortage to his brain.
Yes.
due to
It
blood
all
flow
needed to go
issues in the
somewhere
rest
else.
of his.
Because all his blood was occupied.
So I kind of like Show Arlen better
I was
than
gonna say
Novella
the same
Arlen.
thing.
And I'm gonna say why. I don't want to talk about it too much because we'll be here for another 3 hours. I really love the final moment in episode 2 where Dunk is thinking about his father figure. In the novella, I feel Sir Arlen of Pennytree is less a character and more of a symbol. He's like this idea for Dunk. He's not really fully fleshed out character. And I can just speak from personal experience. It is very typical for young men to have this idealized version of their father their entire lives.
Totally.
And then the second you get to the real world, it's just like, oh, you kind of
You were
suck in some
actually
areas.
cool. Yeah.
But and Dunk comes to that conclusion throughout episode 2. Like he thinks about how Arlen never really knighted him. He didn't train him the best he could. He didn't have a lot of friends. But then at the end, he pulls back and views Sir Arlen from a third person perspective and is just like, you weren't the greatest, but you were a good man in a world full of evil people, and that means so much more to me, and it's so much more important than all of these superficial ideas. And from that alone, I'm just like, ooh, is Sir Arlen a better character in the show?
So, and I think he's a more believable, like that is what a hedge knight would be like. He would be rough around the edges and crass and, you know, dick hanging out. Like that's what a guy who lives in the fucking hedges would be like. Like he's not gonna be a knight the way that you're thinking.
Well, yeah,
of, like, a polite knight.
now the dick out and being like way more casual, that seemed it, but like I did think he was less kind, but like I get where y'all are coming from.
Yeah. I think I don't disagree that they are like characterizing Sir Arlen a lot more. I do hope that there is a bit of like what you're describing, Constantine, of like the coming back around to like, well, he did still teach me stuff, right? Where it's like, I think the idea of it being like, oh, Dunk just happened to like escape a like totally shit situation or whatever, like that feels less I don't know, like it feels less good than the sort of, and maybe it's me trying to like cling to the like feel good elements or whatever.
Yes, me too.
But I do think that there is something to like, if the thing that Dunk learned from Sir Arlen was that being like trying to teach your charge all you can to like set them up for success and to like make them a better person or whatever, like if that's all, like you just try your best to like teach them some stuff, I think that's like, that being Sir Arlen's legacy is probably like, that to me just feels good, because I think the thing, you know, the role that Sir Arlen plays in the book is he is Dunk's link to being a knight, but in reality, he is his link to like surviving as a knight in this specific situation, because he taught him just enough to like be able to like get through all of the shit and be what he says he is, even though he technically probably isn't. Right? That's sort of the.
We keep swinging back to the point of this may be a criticism. This may be a praise.
We'll find out.
Yeah, like it really is going to like the tone shift in the show. Like these final episodes are going to be how I judge it.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, I got to level with you guys. I feel tired, which means I feel like Ashley and Constantine probably have to be.
Oh, I'm about to pass out.
Yeah.
I'm literally about to pass out. Like I'm having so much fun talking to y'all, but like I'm
do this all night.
struggling.
So I just wanted to.
We need to make it a point for episode 6 to be like, we are going to be up for as long as.
Oh gosh, no, I'm gonna be up with the energy drink, the coffee, the espresso, because I feel like.
Eric, are you still here?
Yes.
Okay, you've been so quiet, like dead silent for the last like 20 minutes.
Like
There's
I
enough going
feel
on.
like that's gonna be a long episode.
But yeah, so thank you all for joining us on this inaugural YouTube stream. I think we have this kind of figured out. Hopefully we can make it a little easier and better so that people aren't freezing right now. Honestly, I'm at the point right now where I think we're not going to do video, and we'll just have a phone call with each other for the next one. Because the video was freezing all over. We didn't lose anything, but yeah, it just, it's just not useful. So this is probably going to get posted like pretty soon since we're posting it directly to YouTube. So be on the lookout for that, and it'll be available on Spotify when it'll be available on Spotify, and look out for all the videos coming up and for the next stream that's coming up next week. And then Phil, tell us where people can find you.
Yeah, I'm at Damon Bachfire still, I think, on TikTok. And yeah, that's still going on. And then you can also find a Pot of the Seven Kingdoms that I do with my friend Belok, and we're doing the show reviews right now. We did the reread of The Hedge Knight, and we're in the midst of our reread of The Sworn Sword, which is on pause until the show ends, and then we'll pick back up where we left off. But yeah, if you're into the like really deep dive in the books, the novellas specifically, I should say, then check it out on YouTube.
And Constantine, where can the people find you?
So you can find me on TikTok or YouTube. I love making YouTube videos at Constantine_James. I have taken up the insane task of in-depth breakdowns for every character, chapter by chapter. Just finished John. It was 8 hours long. Video 1 from Catelyn is going to be done this week. And then I'm just going to make my way through the gauntlet.
Yes.
That's about it.
Yes. And you know where to find the witches, right? We're always here.
And
Yeah.
yeah, subscribe. Our username's here. Subscribe on all our platforms, and be on the lookout for the full episode out
Yes.
later on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Good night.
Eventually, I will drag Chelsea.
Yeah, right. Good night, y'all.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Good night.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Peace.